let's talk about Trey Lance. He's the other finalist. According to reports, Trey Lance is the guy that the scouting department wants. That's John Lynch, Adam Peters, all the scouts. We don't know who Jed York wants. Maybe he's staying out of this. Thoughts on the Niners being split and it basically being the entire organization against Kyle and his dad, and pretty much the entire organization being united behind Trey Lance. What do you think?
Well, first of all, Jed York wants the guy who will produce more money. And if you are talking about this aspect of the quarterback situation right now, I'm pretty sure that Jed York just wants Trey Lance or
anyone but Mac Jones, because Mac Jones is toxic in terms of you can't market him. No one wants to see his face. No one wants to hear his name. Anyway, keep going.
Yep. Well, Trey Lance, I really like Trey Lance. I do think that he has the greatest upside right now. I do think that he has the greatest potential from this quarterback that we have talked about in the past few weeks. And the guy is just great. He may have some problems with the short balls. I've mentioned that before, but I do think that's a thing that you can just repair with some great coaching. Do we have a great coaching staff for the quarterback position? Because I'm not sure. But it can be coached into the right direction. And he's great at the long balls. He has great release time. He's athletic. He is the greatest, the strongest. And I do think that one of the smartest quarterback prospects right now who are going to the draft. I prefer him over Mac Jones in the long term. But there's a huge chance that he will be a bust as well. There's a great chance that he can be a bust, but he could have the greatest upside from these guys.
I think he's also, I prefer him to Mac Jones. And, people, I've been making a big point about the reps. It's important. You only improve by playing. But look, hold on. Reps aren't the end all be all here. We're not trying to draft the most experienced quarterback. If that were the case, you just take the guy with the most starts. It's not that simple here. It's very difficult to scout quarterbacks. And I think what we're trying to do, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're trying to find the quarterback with the most natural ability, the stuff you can't coach. And the thing that makes it tough when you talk about natural ability in quarterbacks is athleticism is only a fraction of it. When you talk natural ability with quarterbacks, athleticism, arm strength, that stuff is only a fraction. Other stuff is like intelligence, maturity, drive, decision-making, judgment, all that other stuff. And I feel like people don't really talk about that very much. So with Trey Lance, I think he's got it all. He's got all the natural ability, not just athleticism. He's got all that other intangible stuff that I think Justin Fields doesn't have, at least the judgment part. Just the ability to make cool-headed, smart decisions under pressure during the game without the coach telling you what to do. It's rare. I think Trey Lance can do it. Yeah, he didn't play that much, but when he did play, he was freaking awesome. I mean, 28 touchdowns, 0 picks. Not a lot of people do that. No matter where they are, what the circumstances are. None of the other North Dakota State quarterbacks have ever done anything like that. So I do think he actually has a ton of upside, and maybe the downside's overstated. I mean, how could that kind of an athlete with that kind of maturity and intelligence and decision-making really fail if he's that driven? I mean, I guess if he gets drafted by a bad team, but that's not the Niners.
Yeah.
So
you said it all. I mean, I don't think that there's any other thing we could say about just Trey Lance, because I do think that out of these three guys, there's nothing that could stop me from picking him, because I do think that he is the best prospect out of them.
Yeah. So let's think about it this way. Is it possible Kyle backs down and lets the scouting department make this pick?
No, absolutely no way.
I disagree, Botond. Let's hold on. You might be right, but let's think about it from the other perspective. He didn't want Jimmy Garoppolo. He wanted Kirk Cousins, and then he said, "Okay, fine. All right, John, fine, have it your way." And then when Jimmy played well, he took credit. But when Jimmy didn't play well, it was always known that Kyle didn't really want him, and that was John's guy. Also in Washington, he didn't have power. He was the offensive coordinator, but he made it known he didn't want RG3. I think it's kind of in his character for him and his dad to be like, you know what, we like Mac Jones, but then at the very end to be like, okay, I trust John. I trust my scouts. I just want it on record that I disagree. But I'm going to go along with you guys. That way, if Trey Lance fails, you can't blame Kyle. You gotta fire John. And if Trey Lance works out, then Kyle's a genius. Kyle's the greatest. Kyle made it happen. Kyle was the quarterback whisperer. But if it doesn't work out, Kyle is on record it's known that Kyle Shanahan preferred Mac Jones. Isn't that kind of how he operates, man? He never weds himself to a quarterback completely.
Well, there's one thing, a single thing, in which I have seen some improvement from Kyle Shanahan. There was a game this season when the play calling was poor, quarterback play was poor, offensive line play was poor, everything was poor, to be honest. And Kyle Shanahan said that we must improve in every aspect of the game, including myself. That was the first time when
the first time,
like the plays were there.
Yeah,
that was the first time. So I do think that there's maybe some personal improvement in Kyle Shanahan right now, but I can't see it coming that he will say that, okay, guys, so we will draft Trey Lance just because if we fail, I want to blame you. I do think that he understands and feels right now that he could be in a hot seat in the next few seasons if he cannot get some playoff appearances.
I just feel like he gotta know that if he takes Mac Jones, he puts himself on the hot seat right now. Right, he's on the hot seat before he's taking them. Niner fans are ready to run him out of town, and I feel like he doesn't need to do that. Like what he could say is, "Look, it's very unpopular if I take Mac Jones. I'm almost setting the kid up for failure because fans will be so hard on him. The entire organization's against it. Instead of putting my neck out there so drastically, with no one backing me up other than my dad, who doesn't even work here, what I could do is give in and say, you know what, John, you're the GM. I trust you. I'm not going to overrule the entire staff. I trust you, but let it be known that I disagree with you. And I'm going to make it work. I like Trey Lance. I prefer Mac Jones. I'm going to do this for the best of the organization, but you cannot hold me responsible for this if it doesn't work out. It just seems like something he would do. Man, I don't know.
Could happen.
I'm a conspiracy theorist like that, though. Joshua says, is it possible Mac hype is all about the Patriots? It's impossible to get a Jimmy deal done before the draft if Bill thinks he can still get Mac. It's possible. I don't know. I always think the Patriots are the team that drafts a quarterback in round 3. You know, they're going to get Davis Mills. Bet.
Well, if there's a team which is drafting great in the later rounds, which manages talent really great, that's the New England Patriots, and it's just because of Bill Belichick. I don't think that he will buy that. So no way this could happen, in my opinion.
If Kyle picks Jones, does that give Lynch a chance to outlast Shanahan with the 49ers? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And this is why I think the Niners are going to take Trey Lance. Kyle's not going to do that to himself. It's career suicide potentially. You're taking on way too much risk. There's no reason to do that to yourself. Just take the guy that John Lynch wants and make it known that it's not your guy. You're going to give it a shot. You like him anyway. But it's John's call. You're the GM, buddy. I just think that's the prudent play if you're trying to make sure that you don't get fired. Because Mac Jones just puts a target on your back that you don't need. Yeah. Anthony Adams says, Anthony Adams, huh? Are we talking Spice Adams here? Have you paid close attention to Mac and Jack interview? He's goofy, immature, dorky. Lance is stoic, serious, but charismatic. Franchise all over him. Yeah, Mac's he's a little McCorkly. And Lance, his attitude, his whole story, his maturity reminds me of Fred Warner.
Yeah.
Wise beyond his years, grown up beyond his years. It's got that Fred Warner vibe, really smart, the kind of guy who's going to improve leaps and bounds in a short period of time.